and this is the last year of homologation for the Sierra, and next year everyone will have to change over to the Sapphires or the four-wheel drives. So it's nice for it to go out with a bit of style.
I'm really looking forward to it. We're fourth on the grid at the moment, but we were a lot quicker in testing a couple of weeks ago. We've changed a few things on the car, and maybe we'll put them back as they were. Also, somebody dropped a lot of oil on one particular corner, which is a corner that I'm having a bit of a problem with anyway, because it's a very fast one, and the four-wheel drive Sierra understeers a bit on that corner. So on this patch of oil, I'm being affected more than maybe the two-wheel drive cars are, because I'm having to lift off more. But we'll see, we'll try. It should have dried out for the race.
We were here on Thursday in the wet with Woodcock, and we got down some very competitive times then, but we're disappointed not to go better today. I think what was critical is that the other guys had had practice in the dry. Of course, we needed more time out there than 15 minutes to get the car sorted out for a dry session.
Class C's been good. I mean, the Peugeot, I suppose in cars in the grids, we've had Guy Povey and myself, we're the only two cars to score points the whole season. We've got to drop 2 rounds, so that officially puts David Pitcher leading. So the championships go, it's good.
That's right, it's good fun racing the 3-litre boys, but it's a shame we haven't got any 1600cc cars out there.
So how does your car handle around here?
Like everybody says, it's ever so bumpy. Every time we come here, it surprises us how bumpy it is, but Howard tells me he's going to resurface it in October, so roll on next year.
Well, the bonnet's up on Ian Kahn's Sierra there. The boys from Kevin Maxted's crew just sorting a minor problem. As we have a quick glance at the grid, Graham Hathaway and Ian Kahn on the front row, Frank Greenway and Terry Marshall on row 2. Peter Clark, good qualifying position for him there on the inside of the third row of the grid alongside Michael Woodcock. Jonathan Woodward and Jonathan Baker on row 4, James Bukowski and Gareth Howell on row 5. Superb turnout, 15 out of the 30 cars on this grid from Class A. It's going to be an absolutely cracking race. Rolling start, remember, for the BRDC, BRSCC Saloon Car Championship. And away they go to the left car, number 5 there, the blue car. That's Hathaway from pole position, but Ian Kahn from the right, and the old hatchback style Sierra is the man who looked to me as though he might just be taking the edge. We see it from inside Jerry Marshall's car, but no, Kahn round the outside. Hathaway directly ahead of Jerry Marshall. Through comes Frank Greenway in the green and white Sapphire. He's Hathaway's teammate, but it's Ian Kahn who makes the best of the start at the moment. Down there in Class B, Ian Cantwell in the BMW 325i. Is he going to get hit by somebody or hit something himself? Now, I don't know how he's managed that, but wow, what a performance. He ought to go in for ice skating. Managed to get away with it though. So Kahn leads from from Greenway, with Marshall there, Woodcock and Hathaway side by side. Peter Clark in there fighting as well, but it's the last year of homologation, as we heard Ian Kahn say, for the hatchback Sierra, and that's the car that leads. Greenway, Marshall, Hathaway, the rest of the Sierras. What a mighty field it is ploughing through. There's the Class B battle with what looked like not Guy Povey leading it, no, because Guy Povey's down there in third place. Good battle though in Class B. I'm sure we'll see a lot of that. Back with the race leaders though. Kahn, Greenway, Marshall, they're trying to go all the way around the outside of Michael Woodcock. You won't be able to do that there, Squire. Peter Clark tucked in behind. Good run for him. We're in car with Jerry Marshall once again, trying to find a way past Frank Greenway. Greenway waves, at least I thought he did. Marshall shakes a fist. They're both four-wheel drive cars, these. And Jerry Marshall goes through. No, he doesn't. A little bit of contact there. I think Jerry will have a slightly loose door mirror as a result of that. It looks as though Marshall might have the better line. Kahn pulls away in the white Sierra. Side by side, Jerry Marshall and Frank Greenway for second place at paddock. And no, Greenway got it back, I think. Marshall having a lot of trouble. Marshall's obviously very keen to get past Greenway to try and keep on terms with Ian Kahn. He's having trouble doing it at the moment, as this shot at Tower Corner shows. There's Greenway, Marshall, Woodcock, then Hathaway, then Peter Clark, then Jonathan Baker. Behind him, Jonathan Woodward. Next up, Bukowski, then Gareth Howell. Little nose to tail stream, and you can see, we heard Tim Busby say how bumpy it is. Well, you get an idea of just how bumpy it is. Through goes Hathaway past Woodcock, or does he? No, Hathaway very nearly loses it. Fighting for control there. Has he got up to fourth place? Well, I think he has. No, he hasn't. He's still fighting away. Woodcock fighting back, and they're joining in is Peter Clark. Trying to get in between. I don't think he'll manage that, Peter. Good try, though. Terrific race. Massive bank holiday crowd here at Castle Combe as well, enjoying the sunshine and what has been a cracking race programme, of which this is proving to be a very entertaining part indeed. Woodcock showing a slightly loose back bumper there, and off goes Peter Clark. That's not a very good idea. Gareth Howell went off as well. Remember, I said your average speed round here is about 95 miles an hour, so on the faster bits you'll certainly up into the 130s, possibly 140s in these very quick Sapphires and Sierra Cosworths. There's the battle then for second place. Frank Greenway in the ICI Gaskell Textiles car, still holding off Jerry Marshall with his new Jam sponsor. This, of course, Mike McGowan's car that Jerry's racing. As we look down through the field, you'll see the Class C battle there with David Eves in among the Peugeots and the other Astras. What an absolutely cracking race. This is filling up the whole of the Castle Combe track here, 1.84 miles in length. There's one of the newcomers there. We just caught a glimpse of the white and yellow car, Paul Hogarth, ex-Porsche racer. There's the Class B leader at the moment, Dave Brunston, in the AJAC Racing BMW M3, but he's got Steve Griffin in the black car right behind him, and Mike Jordan. We ride in car with Mike Jordan in the Equity In-Law car. That's Griffin in the black car directly ahead of us. Brunston, the class leader, in the white car in this race. Mike Jordan, a merry waver. And as you can see, because he's got Graham Coombs and Guy Povey. Povey, of course, leading the class in the points table before this race, down there in 6th in the class. You won't be happy with that at all. You get an idea, just the vibrations on the camera, just how bumpy it is as we come through Tower, in car with Mike Jordan, straightening up the Equity In-Law BMW M3. Now poised to squeeze past Dave Brunson. We already see the black shadow, so to speak, ahead of us. That's up into the class lead has gone Steve Griffin, as we go back to the battle at the head of the field. And this time Jerry Marshall gets Frank Greenway fair and square up into second place. So Greenway demoted to third, and Woodcock looking as though he may demote Greenway to fourth. And I wonder if Frank's got a problem, because certainly it looks to me as though he's lost 2 places in a very short space of time indeed. Khan, though, of course, with this terrific battle between the Sapphires and Mike Woodcock Sierra going on behind him, life's a little bit easy for him. We're back in car with Jerry Marshall. Jerry watching the mirrors very carefully to see who might be trying to challenge him, and it's Michael Woodcock this time, relative newcomer to this championship, but a winner of the Firestone Production Car Series last year. And Woodcock goes through! Up into second place then goes Michael Woodcock, passing the very experienced Jerry Marshall. We've heard Jerry say that four-wheel drive isn't necessarily the cure-all for everything in circuit racing, and certainly there are parts of Castle Combe where the two-wheel drive cars definitely have an advantage. So coming into Camp Corner then, second place Mike Woodcock on the right, in the middle of that little group there Jerry Marshall in third. Up to fourth has come Graham Hathaway, so he's found his way past his teammate the Yorkshireman Frank Greenway as well. Class C and B cars all mixed in together there. Peter Morse having a good run, well, he was having a good run until he fell off at that point in the newer Astra GSI, mixing it with some of the front runners in the class, not his normal position, so he's making steady progress during the year. Pat Mannion there was the fastest man in Class C in qualifying, but he's slipped down now as the race wears on. And so look, there is the Class B battle being held up a little by Paul Hogarth in his Cosworth. Steve Griffin in the Cotswold M3 leads the class. Tucked right in behind him is Mike Jordan. Graham Coombs there in the Rock Turf car we see now up into third in the class. Now can they get past and between these Sierras and these Sapphires? Because that sometimes for the BMW men is a bit of a problem. They're quicker through the corners, slower down the straight, and sometimes their class battle is affected by mixing it with the Sierras and Sapphires, and certainly that seems to be the case at the moment. Paul Hogarth, his car also prepared by Graham Hathaway Racing, although this is a two-wheel drive car. Griffin, though, leading Class B. Of course, Steve lives just down the road from Castle Combe, and he really is a master of what is a very, very tricky circuit to get absolutely spot on. In fact, I seem to remember last year in this equivalent race he came something like about fourth overall in his M3. Freewheeling there. Jordan still second in the class. Coombs is third, but tucked right in behind Coombs. I think that was Guy Povey. Yes, it is. So the class leader making a bit of progress. There's the only man in Class D today, unfortunately, Tim Busby, but he enjoys mixing it with everybody. But about to be lapped by Ian Khan, the race leader. Michael Woodcock there in second place. We also see 69 there, the spotted Astra. That's the class leader, Dave Pitcher, who's got David Eves not too far behind him. And it's Pitcher just being lapped there by Jerry Marshall. Pitcher keeping well out of the way of Jerry, and very sensibly so too. So no problems there, no delay for Jerry. Hathaway now has to lap Pitcher. Hathaway still in fourth place at the moment, having been on the front row of the grid and looking forward for a good result here at Combe. Khan now very comfortably ahead of second place Michael Woodcock. Third place Jerry Marshall. Just look at that four-wheel drive virtuous Sapphire bouncing along the very, very bumpy track. Jerry's car control really quite superb. He's in third place, and he's got Graham Hathaway in the Saloons of Leamington Sapphire. Car number 5 there behind him. Coming in towards the closing stages, still a lot of battles to be resolved here. Nothing really settled down at all. Here's Mike Jordan in second place in the 3-litre class. We go in car with Mike. We get a very clear idea here of just how bumpy the Castle Combe circuit can be in this BMW M3. Retirement over there on the left, one of the Masters Astras, and it looks as though Mike very nearly lost it there, but he gathers it all back. Cars get thrown on the bumps, of course. He bounces on the curbs a bit, get more vibration, but we still give chase to Steve Griffin. The BMWs, as they come into Lowell's paddock, up to perhaps 110, 115 miles an hour. In qualifying, Griffin averaged 94 in his M3. We come down towards Tower Bend now, through this very tight right-hander, or not through this very tight right-hander, as the case may be, because sadly for Mike Jordan, now I wonder if that's the corner that Jerry Marshall indicated there was some oil on earlier in the day. It might just have been, because there didn't seem any particular reason for Mike Jordan's equity-in-law M3 to snap. We watch it as he loses it, goes off backwards into the tyre wall, a mighty thump, but see, relatively limited damage to the back of the M3. The tyre walls here at Combe really doing their job. Ian Kahn then on his final lap in the Tamchester Sierra RS500. Unlikely that he is going to lose his victory here, but Jerry Marshall loses a place there to Graham Hathaway, so Hathaway up into third as he comes on to his final lap. Jerry Marshall demoted to fourth place then, so it looks to as though the result will be Kahn, Woodcock, Hathaway and Marshall, but Hathaway still pressing on after that problem on the first lap where he slipped back down through the field after a bit of contact with Frank Greenway. Graham has been fighting back. Woodcock's car looking as though it's smoking a bit. I wonder if that means he has a problem. Perhaps it gives an additional opportunity for Graham Hathaway. We're watching from the very rapid grandstand seat alongside Jerry Marshall in the fourth place, Sapphire Cosworth. There's the race leader, Ian Kahn. And who's going to come through next? Is it going to be Woodcock? Is it going to be Hathaway? Well, as you can see, Hathaway really has caught up with Woodcock. Surely Michael Woodcock's got some sort of problem for Hathaway to have picked up quite such an amount of space, an amount of time on this very final lap. Kahn goes through. We're watching with Jerry Marshall as round the outside, by the looks of it, goes Graham Hathaway. Does he? Can Michael Woodcock fight back? No, he can't. So Hathaway on the very last corner of the last lap, up into second place behind race winner Ian Kahn. Jerry Marshall celebrates the end of the race by coming out of Camp Corner and onto the grass, but Woodcock was third. Marshall was fourth. There's Busby in the lone Honda Civic in his class, so naturally he is the class winner there. Through comes the winning Astra as well, number 69, Dave Fitcher, chased by the black BMW M3, backed by Cotswold BMW, the local dealer here to Castle Combe. Steve Griffin